Mavs Nation. How's everybody doing tonight, guys? Just let me know down in the comment section. How's everybody doing? It was a tough one, so we're gonna get into it. I'd like to welcome everybody to the live post game. We Talk Mavs post game here on the Glow Sun Sports channel, here on our YouTube channel. I am your host, Real, as you can see right here at the bottom. Listen, it was a tough one. Like I said, for me, it was very frustrating. Gonna get into it here in a little bit. Um, a lot of takeaways from this game. We're gonna definitely get into it. Just kind of guys, go ahead and comment down below, guys, what y'all think about this game. You got any questions? Anything y'all want to talk about? I'm gonna do a real quick recap, like I said. Just glad to see y'all guys here rocking with me this late because it is late, and I know a lot of y'all have to get up and go to work the next morning. I know I do. I got to be up early, but I'm here rocking with y'all. Uh, it was a pretty interesting game so far. I really thought the Mavericks gonna win, so I could just come on here and say no Luca, no problem. But uh, it seems like this team when it counts can't function without Luca. When it comes down to towards the end of the game, there were a lot of things in this game. Like I said, we can take away from. Got a lot of positives, a lot of negatives. Um, the leading scorer in the game was, of course, was Tim Hardaway. He came aggressive today. Really needed his 22 points today. Of course, without Luca playing with the sore ankle in the last game, he got injured in the last like 45 seconds. Was it 44 seconds of the game? Was very frustrating. But anyway, we can talk about this game. This is one of those games that Dallas had an opportunity to win, which is kind of crazy to me because you held Chris Paul to like 7 points. He was 2 for 12. And when you have a game like that, when you holding the head of the snake, as they say, in this game to 2 for 12, only 7 points, that's the game like that you have to capitalize. That's with Luca or without Luca because the Mavericks had the momentum today. They played well. The defense was on point. The ball movement, the spacing, everything was good today. It's just that when it got down to the crunch time, they just couldn't capitalize. Some of the positives from this game, man, that I'm gonna take away. Um, the and now what I'm about to say, it still does not change my opinion of this player. I'm just telling you what I took away from this game. Okay, so the White Powell, his energy today, and his how many rebounds did he have? 13 rebounds. 13 rebounds. His energy was a big difference today in this game, much needed. With as y'all know, DeAndre Ayton is one of those players that he can definitely kill the boards, and he has been killing the boards against the Mavericks here in the last couple seasons. Um, I did like his energy, like I said. Still don't want to see him in the starting lineup. Still don't want to see him play over 10 minutes a game, especially in the crunch time. Really didn't want to see him in the crunch time, but I think tonight's game they really didn't have a choice because Luca didn't play, so Aiken can afford to kind of put him in there or whatever. He wasn't the reason why we struggled in the crunch time in the fourth quarter. So that's a good thing for the White Pal. Um, the two bright spots for me were the two players coming off the bench. The first one, we had a Trey Burke sighting today, y'all. We had a Trey Burke sighting. Trey Burke showed up and showed out today. He did have a turnover, a huge turnover when he caused that offensive foul in the fourth quarter, early in the fourth quarter, which kind of hurt us a little bit. He was doing good other than that. Came in with energy. He's one hasn't played in a while, but came in ready, so that's a good thing for the Mavericks. Of course, he got the playing time today because we didn't have Luca playing today, so that was a good thing for the Mavs. And the other player was, of course, Frank Ntilikina. Listen, I think I'm probably gonna talk about Frank Ntilikina on every video that I do. Frank is a huge addition to this team. He's a bright spot of this team. What more can I say about Frank? And it seems like he's starting to add a little bit more to his game. I don't know if y'all noticed, there was a couple shots in this game today. It was a 2 and a 3 where Frank is shooting off the bounce now, and he's hitting them. He was 3 for 3 on his threes today. So, key contributor to this team. Um, the thing with Frank is I don't know if it's one of those cases where he needs more minutes or he's playing the right minutes for what he's doing right now. Because sometimes when you play certain players too many minutes, when they're being a huge contributor the way that Frank is playing them too many minutes, he starts making mistakes or not showing up when you need him to show up, stuff like that. But I don't know which one it is because I wouldn't mind seeing Frank get more playing time. You know, especially old players like Sterling Brown. I was thrilled to get Sterling Brown, especially for how much they paid for him. It's just Sterling Brown this year so far is just not what we had envisioned him to be. Which was a 3D player. He's doing okay on defense, but then you're not hitting your threes. So it's just like, why you here? I feel like you can cut back on some of his minutes and go ahead and give him to Frank because Frank is out there balling right now, and his defense is A1. I mean, his defense is a type of defense that's a disruptor that can change momentums of the team and stuff like that. Man, that's a nice addition to have, especially for our team. We just really ain't had a defensive player like that probably since probably Sean Marion or somebody like that. And so to have a young guy like that, a young, long, rangy wing, well, he can play the point guard and the wing. So but having a player like that that's kind of interchangeable, man, is huge for the Mavericks. Um, the thing that kind of got me today in this game was, like I said, Dallas played good up until crunch time. Uh, I gotta get into this, guys. I'm sorry. I know that he's had a nice little stretch here. As a matter of fact, talking about Kristaps Porzingis. He had 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. He played a solid game. It was until crunch time they kind of got me. And man, I with Kristaps, man, it's just the part that gets me with him is him not being aggressive. It's like you're getting pushed out the paint. You're getting dominated by guys that's like, 5 or 6 inches shorter than you. They had Chris Paul kind of move him around. They had Mikal Bridges kind of move him around. Jay Crowder moving him around, just like, and we had calling for fouls. And you saw in that timeout, during one of those timeouts, how Luka and Jalen Brunson kind of went to him, was like, bro, you got to come to the ball. You got to come to the ball, man. You can't just sit there and think that you got this guy pinned down here. Come to the ball. If you're struggling like that, just come to the ball. It will get it to you. And if you're comfortable when you come to the ball, kick it back out or reposition you. You know what I mean? It's common sense stuff. And it was a game like this in the crunch time where this is your time to shine and to prove that you are that guy when Luka's not there. Because right now you're trying to convince us that you are truly and legit a number 2 option. And in this game right here in the crunch time, it's like, where were you? I'm like I said, I'm not saying you're supposed to be Larry Bird or anything in the clutch or whatever. It's just be competent in the clutch. You are supposed to be the second option. You're supposed to be the guy we're supposed to go through, and that just didn't happen. And it's very frustrating, man, because we've seen how supposedly his numbers have increased, his game has increased, his defense has gotten better, his rebounding, all that stuff, man. He's been a little bit more consistent, but it's like, okay, you took that step. When we need you in the crunch time, especially like I said, when Luka's not there, you're supposed to be that guy. You're supposed to be that guy. And I just feel like he was not that guy. And I felt more comfortable with Jalen being able to carry the team compared to KP. I don't know why, like they kept trying to, it seemed like they were trying to force it to KP instead of just like having it naturally flow. Because you saw how Phoenix did. There was a few players that touched the ball in crunch time. It was either Jay Crowder, it was Mikal Bridges, it was Chris Paul, and of course Devin Booker hitting the dagger 3. And I just feel like Dallas, like, okay, because you're number 2, we gotta force it to you. And it's like, no. You got your lead by moving the ball around. And you hit them in different ways, whether it be Frank Ntilikina or Trey Burke coming off the bench, or it be KP sprinkling in his points, or Tim Hardaway, who was hot today, sprinkling in his points, or Jalen Brunson, penetrating the defense and kicking out the open guys, or just causing pressure on the Phoenix defense by driving to the baskets. Like, that's how you got your lead. Like, don't go away from that. And I feel like that's what they did tonight, which, like I said, is very frustrating because you have this team on the ropes, and it's just I know that Phoenix is number 2 in the East. I'm sorry, in the West right now, but and I hate to be one of those fans too, man. What I'm about to say, like, oh, we had this guy who would have won, But think about it, Dallas hung with this team without Luka. Now it would have been a different situation if Luka would have been in this game right here during the crunch time. It would have been a completely different situation because that way you would have had Jalen Brunson and you would have had Luka that the ball could have went through in those current situations. And because Luka wasn't there, it was a little bit harder. And like I said, it's like they were trying to force feed KP for him to be that guy. And so, like I said, it didn't work tonight. Man, let me talk about a few other players, man. It's a lot of head scratching moments in this game. The first one, man, like what is Willie Cauley-Stein doing? What is Willie Cauley-Stein doing? That dude is the most frustrating player right now. It's like he's playing with no enthusiasm, no energy. He's getting out hustled. He's not rebounding. You're not defending. It's like, what are you doing out there? It's very frustrating. And it's like you signed, you kept this guy instead of going to get something else. Dallas does not have a starting center. You have a guy in a starting position, but you don't have a starting center. Like, why we have 5 centers, but none of them are legit starters? And it's like, like I said before, I'd rather see KP be at the 5 because they were more effective when KP was the lone big man and they surrounded him with wings. They were more effective that way. But it's like we said before, KP being injury prone and all that stuff, you can't keep him at the 5. You got to play him in spurts at the 5 just to keep him out of foul trouble and to keep him healthy. I understand that. But, man, just stop playing Willie Cauley-Stein. Just stop playing him. You got Moses Brown sitting on the bench. Go ahead and play him. Now, I'm not one of these Mavs fans that feels like Moses Brown is the answer. But listen, you give me Moses Brown over Willie Cauley, I am sorry. Like, just stop playing Willie Cauley at all. Just stop playing him, and give this man a chance because I feel like he'll play with more energy and he'll be a little bit more aggressive because he feel like he has something to play for. He's here to play for a spot. Willie, like, he's comfortable. Like, whatever. I mean, I'm going to play anyway. I'm the backup center, so it don't really matter. And especially with Maxey being out, yeah, he feel like he's going to get the spot anyway. It's not going to really matter. So he just come out there not playing with any type of energy. Yeah, like I said, you're being a liability on the court. It's just like you turn the ball over. It's just like what are we doing here? What are we doing? And like I said, man, the dude is frustrating. There was another frustrating player tonight, man. Like, I'm not saying that he's frustrating overall. He just did some frustrating things tonight. Reggie Bullock, man, he had 2 layups that he missed. The first layup, he was cutting to the basket on a backdoor cut. Jalen Brunson hits him. He had a wide open layup. Instead of you just catching it, gathering it, and laying it up, he catches it, puts it on the floor, and then lays it up, giving the defense time to come in and contest your shot. And you just missed the layup right there. Then after a timeout, an inbound play, they give it to Jalen in the middle of the paint. He kicks it to a backdoor cut for Reggie Bullock. He does like a 360 layup and he misses it completely. It's like, bro, come on, man. What are we doing out here? What are we doing? And it kind of goes back to the argument I've kind of been making with this team. It's just like I've watched these other games, like say like Washington, and you see that Washington just stockpiled like just very good players, from from the Lakers and signing Spencer Dinwiddie from the Nets. You know what I'm saying? Just a bunch of good players, very good, solid players. Y'all heard me bring up the example of the Atlanta Hawks. Just having very good players. You don't have to necessarily have superstars because there's not a lot of superstars in the league. And everybody wants a superstar, so they're not giving them up unless a superstar wants to get traded or whatever. But other than that, they're not giving them up. So what you want to do is stockpile as many good players as you can. A lot of guys who can create on their own. Not saying they got to be elite, because Jalen Brunson is not an elite creator, but he's a very good player. If you had more players like that on this team, I feel like the balance would be a little bit better. The offense will flow a little better, where it's not so dependent on one guy. And I feel like that way, KP can sprinkle in what he does instead of you having to depend on, okay, you know what, you're making 35 million. You're supposed to be the second option. Here you go, brother. Just do what you can. Just do what you can, because supposedly too, this whole offseason you worked on your game, and yet your post game is still very suspect. Still very suspect. But this team does have another opportunity to play this team again, beat this team, I should say, on Friday. So hopefully, man, we still don't know the situation on Luke. I'm guessing it's a day-to-day thing. Because like I said, he did sprain his ankle in their last game. Hopefully it's not too bad. They said nothing, it came back negative, nothing was damaged or anything like that. I think they're just trying to be safe, you know what I'm saying? It's a marathon, so they're just trying to be safe with Luca, which I don't blame them. Like I said, it's just frustrating with games like this. You had this game, and this would have been a huge staple game for the Mavericks. They would have had a chance to not only kind of put themselves in pace to maybe be. Matter of fact, I think if they had won this game tonight, they would have been number 2 in the West, and that's fine. I know it's still early, but you want to kind of jump on these type of games early, position yourself so that way towards the end of the season, you might probably can kind of tinker things a little bit and see what you want to do going into the playoffs. And this was a huge staple game for the Mavericks. This two, well, I should say, 4-game road trip because they played Phoenix twice and then they played the Clippers twice. This is going to be important, especially if Luka's not going to play. This right here is going to kind of give us a chance to kind of see what Dallas is without Luka. You know what I mean? And just kind of seeing if they can, if these pieces around Luka are as good as Mark Cuban in the front office make them seem to be good. Because for me, I mean, they need a lot of work, but who am I? These guys are making millions, and they got all the answers. And I'm just an armchair guy from the house, watching the game as a fan. And they, like I said, they got all the answers. I don't know nothing, but I'm sitting there with my 2 eyes, watching what's going on the court, and see that something is not right, and see that things need to be changed, and some people need to go, need to bring certain people in, whatever the case is. Um, Anything? Let me see if there's something else I missed here, guys. No, I think that's probably about it for me. Just checking my notes here. Like I said, if you want to be like a glass half full type of person, like I said, no Luca and they barely lost. They really did give Phoenix all they could. Um, the defense was aggressive, like I said before. I want Jason Kidd to just kind of just go back and just look and kind of maybe think about changing up the lineup. I'm just saying, just you got to tweak some things. Um, I know that Trey Burker's probably going to go back to being a DNP decision when Luca comes back, but I mean, you saw how he played tonight. Maybe give Trey Burke a few run times. You know what I'm saying? Over maybe like a Sterling Brown. I know that they, have Sterling Brown because of the defense and the size and all that stuff. But we signed you to be a 3-and-D guy, and you're just not doing that. You're not doing it. I don't want to compare him to Josh Richardson yet, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of the same thing with Josh Richardson. We signed you to be a 3-and-D guy. You weren't doing it. You weren't hitting your threes, and you was getting cooked out there, And so that's the one thing for me that's kind of troubling with me with the whole Sterling Brown thing. Still kind of early. The dude is a very good 3-point shooter for his career, so hopefully he'll kind of break out of this mode or this funk, I should say. Because I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith did it, so who's to say that he wouldn't do it? I just hope that he does it very soon because we definitely need it. Because you have the size that we like, we just don't. Just everything else you're just not capitalizing on right now, which is okay. That's probably all I got for y'all tonight, man. I see nobody has any questions or anything, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Um, I'm gonna try. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do a recap video on the next game. I got some things I gotta do next. Friday. I got some plans for Friday, so I'm probably not gonna be able to do a recap video. But after that, I will have more recap videos, more live recap videos for you guys to join in on. I want to thank you guys for watching. The people who are here watching. For those who are watching, please like and subscribe to the channel. As y'all can see, Glow Sun Sports right there. This is our YouTube channel. This is the We Talk Mavs show. And I'd like to thank you guys for rocking with me. It's your boy Rail. And we'll see y'all guys here again very soon.